Hey everybody, this is your host, the Platinum Knight, here with another double first impressions video. And today's double first impressions is Final Destination Bloodlines and Sinners. I'm gonna be using OBS Studio for this video, so let's see how it goes. Starting with Final Destination Bloodlines. I saw this movie way back on May 12, 2025 at a red carpet premiere at the Chinese Theater down in LA. I even made a whole video about it, so if you guys want to check that out, link down below in the description. Before I even talk about Final Destination Bloodlines, I would like to share my history with this franchise. Final Destination 1 and 2 would have to be the best, but in my opinion, my favorite Final Destination would have to be Part 2, only because there's a survivor. Final Destination 3 was meh, it was okay, just alright. Final Destination 4 on the other hand would have to be my least favorite, but even then though it wasn't bad or anything like that, it was also okay. Final Destination 5 would have to be a little bit better than 4, but not better than Part 3, and really, the only thing that saves Part 5 is the ending. But that's about it though. Okay, now it's time to share my thoughts on what I thought of Final Destination Bloodlines, the 6th installment of the Final Destination franchise. To start off on what are my thoughts on this film, the kills are awesome. The kills were definitely really creative and hilarious. For those of you who have never seen a Final Destination film before, this is not one of those types of films to take very seriously. These movies are kind of like party movies, you know? It's just something that you're not supposed to take super seriously and just enjoy the ridiculousness and the absurdity of how people end up getting killed. This installment would have to have the best opening scene out of all the movies since Part 1 and 2. Probably my favorite kill in this movie would have to be the X-ray scene. That X-ray scene alone made me bust out laughing. And it's pretty crazy to think that another movie that just came out this year was The Monkey. Both of these films are pretty much cursed movies. In The Monkey, it was a cursed object that was doing all the killings, but in the Final Destination series, it is Death himself. Because this is a first impressions video, I'm gonna do my very best not to spoil anything, but even though these are the type of movies that you're not really supposed to look deep into, I do have some critiques. One being is the death of the grandma. Again, I'm gonna do my best to leave it very vague, but I don't know. I mean, I find it very silly how this grandma, who pretty much spent her whole life protecting her family, and then all of a sudden she just gives up because she thinks that her daughter wouldn't believe her, and then she just allows death to kill her as proof. But at the same time though, she should have just kept on living, you know, because she is the reason why all this other crazy stuff ends up happening, including someone that had nothing to do with the bloodline. So I thought that was pretty ridiculous, and the ending was also really absurd. This family is trying really hard to find someplace safe, and out of all the places they could have picked to avoid death that's safe, they end up going to one of the dangerous places in the whole wide world by going to a so-called safe house that is completely barricaded and all kinds of rusted metal spikes and all kinds of dangerous sharp objects. You know, things that Death himself can very easily use to kill them, but they go there anyway, and it is so ridiculous. But like I said though, these movies movies are meant to be dumb, though. They're meant to be silly. The last time I took a Final Destination film the least bit seriously would have to be part 1 and 2, but even then though, of course it still had its quirky moments. These films are just meant for you to have a good time, but also bring the paranoia and the anxiety towards the audience. I remember in the original Final Destination, oh, that bathtub scene, man. That freaking bathtub scene really scarred me for life as a kid. I would always be paranoid to get near bathtubs. Anyways, Final Destination Bloodlines is a bloody good time. I do at least think that Final Destination Bloodlines is way better than Final Destination 3 to 5. Now the ultimate question is Final Destination Bloodlines better than Final Destination 1 and 2? And in my opinion, nah. Final Destination 1 and 2 are still the best out of the series, but at the same time, I would say that Bloodlines would definitely have to be my third favorite now. So with that being said, if you haven't seen Final Destination Bloodlines yet and you're just looking for a good laugh, then I do recommend you check it out. R.I.P. Tony Todd. The next movie I'm gonna talk about is Sinners. Now, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this movie, and there's a reason for that. That is because the trailers actually did a really good job not even spoiling anything at all. The trailers do a great job not giving away the main plot, and that is the reason why I recommend you just go see it, everybody. Like, I'm not even joking. This movie is amazing. It is so good that just watch it, okay? I'm not gonna give anything away. Just go for it. If you love horror movies, you are definitely gonna love this film. This film is so good, so awesome, and Michael B. Jordan puts on an incredible performance that, yeah, I highly recommend it, everybody. This is also one of those movies that I did not make a going to see video out of, nor did I even really record anything during my trip to see this film. And the reason why I did not make a going to see vid out of Sinners is because, well, let's just say I was in the middle of so many other projects, and you know, I was already working on so many other going to see vids, and so I just decided to skip it. Now that I look back on it, I kinda regret not making a going to see vid out of this film because it was so good. At one point, this movie almost became my movie of the year, and for the longest time it was, until another movie that I ended up liking even more just so happened to beat it. I'm not gonna say what that movie is until next time. Alright, everybody, that's it for this double first impressions video. That's it for this double first impressions on Final Destination Bloodlines and Sinners. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for new videos. This has been your host, The Platinum Knight, and peace out, everybody. You have yourselves a good one.